Madam Joyce from Educare TZ. I'm teaching biology, and today I'll be with you, my student, to discuss our topic which is found in Form 5. And here, this topic, it is called coordination and irritability, the most easiest topic in Form 5. And here, my student, in our topic, now we are going to deal with our subtopic, which is a sensory receptor. That is our main concern. So, my student, before we are proceeding more further to see our main concern in our today's session, we have to recall ourselves on where we end on the last session. On the last session is whereby we try to look on the membranous labyrinth, and thereby we have seen also the structure of the membranous labyrinth. We conclude by the functions of the membranous labyrinth. Tukasema function of membranous labyrinth specifically on the structure which is called cochlea, it is responsible for hearing. So how does the hearing process occur within the human being or within an animal? So is where now we are going to discuss in this session. As I promised you in the last session, that in this session we are going to begin to see the mechanism of the hearing. So you are warmly welcome. So my student, as now you can see this picture. This picture depicts the mechanism of hearing. As now you can see, this one is the sound, and this one is our ear. So how does this sound enter the ear, and thereafter it is integrated within the brain, and then thereafter you can notify this is the sound of different kinds of an organism, or this is the sound of someone. So how does this here help in the process of hearing? As now you can see here, this one is the sound. As the sound, mtu anasikia sauti. Baada ya kusikia sauti, ile sauti inapitaje mpaka inaenda moja kwa moja kwenye brain. Thereafter una integrate, hii ni sauti ya kitu fulani, au hii ni sauti ya mtu fulani. So how does the ear help in the process of hearing? Inakuwaje mpaka mtu anasikia? So is here now we are going to discuss. So now, as I have said, that mechanism of the hearing, since the mammalian ear function as organ of hearing and the balance. So the organ which is responsible for hearing process to occur within the animal or within the human being is the ear. Is the ear. But the ear, it performs mostly two functions. And the first function is for hearing process. But the second one, it is for balance. But as I have said, as I introduce you in this session, that we are going to discuss the mechanism of hearing. So later on, we're going to see the mechanism of balance. How does the ear help in the process of balancing of the body? But here we are going to deal with the hearing mechanism. How tunaweza tukasema kwamba how does an organism perceive the sound and integrate different kinds of sound. That is the mechanism of hearing. So now we are starting looking on the mechanism. First thing, that is the process of hearing starts when the sound waves enter the outer ear through the cartilage structure called the pinna. So the process of hearing starts from the outer ear. And remember the structure of the outer ear. The structure of the outer ear comprises of the cartilaginous structure. That cartilaginous structure, it is called a pinna. It is a flap-like structure which is found on the outer surface of the ear. Sasa ile outer surface of the ear au ile pinna in general ndio ambayo inasaidia kucorrect different kinds of sound waves. Ndio sasa hearing process inapoanzia hapo. That is the first process or the first step of hearing. It starts from the outer ear, specifically in the structure which is called the pinna. But the second one, we are saying that the sound waves travel from the external auditory canal or an ear canal until they reach the tympanic membrane. So after the collection of the sound wave from the outside, from the outside environment. Thereafter, the sound waves will enter into the ear through the structure which is called the auditory canal, or we can call it the ear canal. This ear canal, it is responsible for carrying the sound waves from the external environment of the ear, that is from the pinna. Thereafter, will send us information into the tympanic membrane. When we are saying that tympanic membrane, meaning that the ear drum. So after the sound waves reaching the ear canal, thereafter the sound will enter into the ear drum, that is ngoma ya sikio. Kwa hiyo sasa ile sound itaingia moja kwa moja mpaka kwenye ile tunayoita ngoma ya sikio, how tunaita tympanic membrane. So what are changes now will occur within the tympanic membrane? So the sound waves in the tympanic membrane cause the membrane and the attached chain of the auditory oscles to vibrate. And remember, the tympanic membrane, we can say that is the beginning of the middle ear. Kwa hiyo sasa hapa tunaweza tukasema kwamba hii after the sound reaching the tympanic membrane or the eardrum is where now causing the membrane and the attached auditory oscles to vibrate. After vibrating now, what next? Here we are saying that the Millers then takes the pressures from the inner surface of the tympanic membrane and passes it by means of incasi to the steps. Here meaning that sound or vibration, it reaches to the middle ear. Na tukiongelea kwenye middle ear tuna 3 oscles. We have 3 ear oscles. And the first ear oscles, it is called the Millers. The second one, it is called the incasi, and the last one, it is called the steps. So after the vibration reaching the tympanic membrane, itaenda kusababisha vibration kwenye zile ear oscles. Hizo ear oscles hapa tunaongelea the Millers, the incas, and the steps also will vibrate. So vibration that come from the middle ear is where now it will transmit the sound waves into the inner part of the ear. So now let's see. We can say that there are about 20 times multiplication of the sound pressure as it moves from the outside to the inner ear. So now you can see there are multiplication of sounds, that vibration which come from the middle ear. For the vibration to enter to the inner ear, meaning that into the cochlea, or we can say that into the semicircular canal, that it need or it require about 20 times multiplication of sound pressure. And thereafter, the motion of the steps against the oval window set up the waves in the fluid of the cochlea, causing the basilar membrane to vibrate. So after the vibration in the middle ear, thereafter ile vibration itaenda moja kwa moja kwenye inner ear after 20 times multiplication of sound waves in the middle ear. Kwa hiyo sasa inahitaji kuingia kwenye inner ear. And remember, within the inner ear, the place which is responsible for hearing process, it is called the cochlea. So now here we are saying that the motion of the steps against the oval window. Oval window, we can say that it's just like a door that opens the vibration into the inner ear. So now we can say that the steps, that is the last part of the middle ear, it will cause the vibration into the oval window. Yeah. So now we can say that that oval window set up the waves in the fluid of the cochlea, causing the basilar membrane to vibrate. This basilar membrane, it is found within the inner ear, mainly within the cochlea. And remember, within the cochlea is where now we are finding the fluid. Zile fluid nazo zita vibrate after reaching the vibrations in the oval window. Kwa sasa itasababisha zile fluidi zilizokuwepo ndani ya ile cochlea na zenyewe zivibrate. After vibration, now what next? Now my student, I would like to invite you in the next part of this session is where now we are going to finalize the mechanism of hearing. So thank you for listening.